in environmental science. So rest assured that the company will give you not only for the proper waste segregation but also more on environmental consciousness. Thank you.
For example, Ben and Joe, the one handling the waste management po ng Lancaster Museum. In partner with LGU Escolar as LGU partner.
That's a good partnership. Okay, so now the name of the company is Greenfield Waste Management Services Incorporated. Sir, okay lang po nakaupo ako.
No, if you want, you can stand up, ma'am. I'll do the ano.
No, okay lang po.
Okay lang.
Okay, so looking at the vision and mission of the company, sustainable, innovative, and environmentally responsible waste management company, and its mission to provide effective and efficient waste management solutions with environmental protection, community participation, stakeholders engagement as primary consideration. So looking at those mission and vision, rest assured that there will be really the sustainable development and the sustainable development goals of our country and globally will be able to apply in the company, particularly more on the actions of the company. Then for the objectives, the first one, to offer excellent quality service to clients with strict compliance to existing environmental laws, rules, and regulations. That's why at the beginning of the study or the proposal, when there is already the final saying of the project, there will be an information communication campaigns for all the community and the stakeholders here to review the existing laws that we will follow.
So kasama po yun sa service na ibibigay, education to the
IEC included sa services namin.
Then second, operate a waste management business promoting proper waste segregation, segregated collections, recycling, and composting. So looking at this one, rest assured that we will use the closed loop system. So looking at our economy, so we will follow also the circular economy that we are proposing to the government. Then third, adopt new technologies that address issues on waste management, collection, treatment, and disposal. So your questions a while ago, sir, with regards to this, not only business as usual, but there is also concern, not only for the disposal of waste, but we will treat the waste at the same time. There will be an assurance of new products, to be produced.
Yes, new products.
We will
recycling.
Yes.
Recycling.
So as much as possible, we will not give contributions to the bulk of waste disposed to sanitary landfill. Now for the goal, prevent or import materials from the waste stream. So looking at the RA 003 or Section 20, mandatory waste diversion by 25% from disposal facilities. So therefore, all the local government units are required, specifically the Menro and the Senro, to have this 25% disposal diversion of waste. Then, of course, the results will be a decreased volume of waste going to landfill, reduce pollutions, different types of pollutions, not only solid but also water, groundwater. Then reduce cost of hauling. Yeah, that's good. Then segregation, collection, processing, treatment, and disposal. So rest assured, all of those will be seen by the company and will be observed by the company. So looking at the proposed system, so there will be a segregation at source. So from the household, then secondary segregation and storage, then disposal. So the waste coming from the households, we will classify this into recyclables, residual, biodegradable, and hazardous waste. Even the residents itself will be able to segregate their waste properly from their households. Then this one, the recyclables, residuals, and biodegradables will be transferred to temporary area for transfer stations. So these are waste materials which are classified into recyclables will be collected by Greenfield.
Okay.
Then,
Recyclable to Greenfield.
yeah,
The process.
that will be, later you will see why it will be collected, you will see why. Then the biodegradable will be turned into biogas using biodigester that will be used by the community, source for cooking. There will be methane gas productions. Then the residual will be thrown into sanitary landfills. So if you will look at the residuals, there are two types of residuals. the residuals that there's no use, and some residuals that's considered as recyclables already. Then the hazardous waste, of course, it will be carried to accredited treatment facility. It's like what we have stated, we have one in Silang, in Maguyang, the Greenfield, and we can also contact other facilities. Now, for the proposed implementation plan, the first one is for the educational activity. So this is what we are talking about, sir. We will train the assigned cluster leaders and propose segregation at source, segregated continuing collections and schedule. Then we will produce and distribute flyers to all households. Since because of the pandemic, maybe the best one is to create a social media that all the community and residents will be able to have regular consultations and communications. So we will create an FB page for this, for easy dissemination of information. Then second, for the engineering activity, there will be an off-site processing facility for the collected waste for further sorting, consolidation, and processing, and that is in Maguyang. Then second, construction of biodigester for the processing of biodegradable waste. If you know, sir, we have a tie-up partnership with the DOST where they are the one who train us to do the biodigester to produce the biogas. So that's tested already, and they keep on going back to us to monitor what we are doing. So they are helping us for
The
the
biodigester is an equipment
It's
or as
the biodigester is a construct yun with the accredited contractor of the DOST. So, kami, meron kami MOA with the DOST. It's a tripartite MOA. Ang mag-monitor is the Tracy Martinez, DOST Tracy Martinez, the DOST NCR, and then on top, dahil nandito tayo sa Calabar Zone, is the DOST Region 4A Director. So, iyan yung mag-handle. So, explain ko mamaya kung, kasi meron na kaming pilot niya, sir. So, ipapakita namin yung apoy, yung pilot namin. Yes, meron na kaming pilot niya kasi ginawa na namin sa sila. So, iyan, later, i-discuss ko sa inyo kung paano yung
ang biodegradable, yun yung mga
especially, yes, kitchen waste, food waste and kitchen waste. Which is iyan ang source ng, una-una, source ng amoy yan. Kapag hindi yan makokollect on a daily basis, yan ang pinagmumulan ng bula-uod, ng ganon, kasi yan ang pinanggagaling ganon. So, mataas ang gas ng food waste and kitchen waste. Kaya, pwede tayong
methane, di ba?
Yes, methane. Pero kami, yung biogas, i-containerize namin. Once na ma-containerize, ibibenta natin as at lower cost sa mga residente. So, yun yung gagawin natin. Yun yung idea kung bakit i-include natin yan. Na, kumbaga yung lahat ng garbage, hihimayin namin yun. At kung ano yung pwede pakinabangan, gagamitin natin doon. And then yung wala, itatapon. So, yun.
Which is konti na lang sana.
Konti talaga. Yes, oo.
Thank you, sir, for that question. Actually, lahat ko yung makikita niyo maya-maya. Next one, for the enforcement, set up MRF transfer station that will serve as a facility for temporary holding area of collected waste. Maybe you will talk this later. Then collection trucks are in uniform color with mobile numbers, schedule of collection, and equipped with handheld radio for faster communication. All of this will be provided by the company. Then, continuation of the enforcement, personnel are in uniform with protective gears, of course, with this time of pandemic, the face mask, face shield, the gloves and everything. Then monitoring and evaluation are regular, created with routing, vehicle for immediate response. Then there will be set up an office inside the MRF to serve as command center. Then submission of status report on a regular basis. So the reports will be given to the homeowners association, the officers, so that it will be updated what will be the types of waste being collected and everything. So everything will be documented from the start up to the end. Then other features, the cleanup of all pickup points, then closed loop system, recyclables will go to off-site recycling facility at Greenfield, and vermicompost can be supplied for the adopted chosen community that can be used for urban gardening. This is what we are talking a while ago. So aside from the production of biogas or methane gas, the other one, the biodegradable materials, will be turned into vermicompost, and that will be used for urban gardening in your parks, no? Or maybe if you want to
Another product po yun,
Yes,
yung vermicompost.
yes, oo. Kasi ano yan, yung food waste and kitchen waste, yun yung ipaprocess for biogas. Pero yung mga dry leaves, yung mga yun naman yung, yes, yun naman for vermicompost. Kasi hindi pwede ipaghalo yung wet doon sa dry. Meron kami yan, may makikita na ginawa kami. Nandyan sa banda huli kung paano ka.
Then ito po yung biogas or the methane gas will be distributed to the residents in minimal amount. Or if you want to adopt a community as part of your
Cooperative,
CSR, so you can do that. Then eco-bricks productions that can be used for part and everything, that will be also a product of the waste materials.
Eco-bricks, ito may mga plastic waste.
Hindi, sa ngayon, makikita nyo sa yung isinupply namin sa airport. Kita nyo yung mga bricks na ginawa namin. Matatanda na yan, buhay pa. More than 10 years.
And okay. Now, for the implementation of the proposed projects, this is the process flow for the residual waste. So, based on this, daily or twice a week, it depends on the assessment and evaluation that we will do at the start before the implementation, sir. So, we will find out kung kailangan ba ang daily collections or twice a week, or it depends on the classification of waste. So, that's only a proposal, but we will also revise it, depends on the data to be given. Then total cleanup, basis for all the pickup points and MRF for every cluster. So from the waste generator or from the households, it will be proceed to the truck of the green field, then it will be carried to the transfer station. That's for the residual waste. Then next one, for the recyclables, so from the households, it will be collected. Then later will be carried to the MRF, and that will be in exchange of goods. Yan. So recyclables will be exchanged by trash bag, rice, and other basic commodities, not trash but the goods.
Kaya yun po sa mga
Residential,
sa mga
oo.
residential.
Mamaya po, yung ginawa namin, ipapakita namin dyan kung paano namin pinapalitan, nilililig yung mga recyclables nila. To encourage talaga pinamimigay kung unti mong bata nagpa-participate sa segregation dun sa bahay nila. Kasi minsan sila yung namimili, ito ipapalit namin, anong kukunin ko? Sabihin na ng bata. Or young yan. So kahit maliit na bata, talagang na, yes.
Nagpa-participate.
Yes, kasi may ipapalit. Mamaya meron kami mga
may value pa lang.
yes, opo.
Now, for the kitchen waste and compostable, so this will be the process ng compost from the household, transfer to the bio-waste container or bin to be produced by the green field, then goes to the truck, then to the MRF, then there will be the processing of bio-waste into methane gas, biogas productions, then gagamitin sa pagluluto, then the solid one will be used for the urban gardening. Ang pataba sa lupa.
Pwede din pabalik ka mo ba?
Yes po, yes. Yan.
Parang waste generator.
It will be collected.
To bio-waste.
Processing of waste. So parang closed loop.
Yes po.
Close loop po talaga siya.
Yung biogas doon sa
Yes po, opo. Yes po.
sa plant.
Opo, close to po. Yun po yung ano namin talaga, approach namin, close loop namin.
Yan makikita niyo po yung mga objectives na makikita niyo sa mga implementations. So, for the target results for implementation, of course, ensure segregation at source, no segregation, no collection, and a closed loop system Then, of course, there will be best practices, community compliance with RA 9003. There will be a reduction of residual waste generation to be delivered at sanitary landfill because some of the residual waste are already recycled or turns into usable products. The reduced budget allocation for waste disposal and generate employment and livelihood in the area since there will be a production of the usable products. So of course, the laborers will be coming from the community. Then of course, the best one, environmental awareness among individuals.
Model community.
Model community. And yan yung sabi ng sir. There will be, we will conduct IEC trainings and seminars in the community. We will go back to basic, what are those classification of waste, and we will review some environmental laws. Then put up a command center within for Zelfin operation for issues and concerns for operation only. So anytime they can call, kung may problem. Then continuous training, development of skills of all involved personnel, especially the assigned, the one that you will assign, cluster leaders in the community para well-versed po sila. Then looking at these are some of the flyers, given to the community. And magkakaroon din po yan, it depends dito sa atin. Then these are sample of mobile recyclable markets products.
Yung mga schedule kami, yan ang mobile recyclables market. So, hindi na naalis yung logo na. So, yan yung mga barangay, na 11 barangays na hinandle namin. So, meron na kami mga advance schedule para alam na nila yung schedule na darating kami sa mga overcall.
Para sa mga
recyclables siya. Yes, ang tawag po namin is mobile recyclables market. Kasi kami mismo yung pumupunta sa mga covered court for every barangay. Kasi ang purpose din namin, let's say ganito, magta-tricycle pa ako. Ang dala ko is 30 pesos lang worth. Magta-tricycle ako, ha? Pupunta ako dahil wala na akong, hindi naman kami magbibigay ng cash. More on goods. Kaya kami mismo, pumupunta na sa barangay nila. Wala na silang pamasahe. Yung 30 pesos, may goods na silang makuha.
Kung mismo barangay, ma'am, you go to the streets mismo.
Sa covered court kami.
Covered?
Yes.
Central.
The covered court of each street or barangay.
Yes. For every barangay.
Common area.
Yes,
Kung walang covered court, di yung common area.
Ito, barangay Ipiluan.
May covered court sila.
Meron kaming pag-schedule namin, kami yung nandun lang na gumagamit ng court.
Kasi may barangay na walang court.
So yun, covered court.
Common areas.
Kasi pag maulan, mainit, medyo So yung mga tao, alam na yon na ganito kasi may mga cluster leader sila na bukas, i-ready nyo na yung natin, darating dito ang sumari.
Nadala nila ngayon yung mga...
Yes, opo. Mamaya, makikita nyo yung sample. So, kasi hindi kami nagbibigay ng cash. Kung magta-tricycle sila, tatamarin, ang layo-layo, lalakarin pa papunta ron. So kami mismo ang naglalapit noong mga pwede nilang goods na i-redeem. Para, di ba po? So yun yung ginawa namin.
Looking at the items that they accepted, so yung plastic labon na consider as residuals, yun po ay napapalitan din ng goods. Mga 3-in-1 wrappers and everything, different types of plastics.
Single-use plastics.
Yeah, ito among one, Akasha top one, so nahakot na truck, 24 trucks with a waste generation of 135,600 kilos. Compare natin after na, that's before the total clean-up po yung halo-halo kinolekta, wala mo lang proper segregation of waste, dahil naipon siya.
May 1 month,
kanina na parang allowance, mag-zero in para linis mo ng basura.
Kasi hindi mo maipatutupad sa mga residente kung meron silang mga nakastack na garbage. Kailangan i-pull out mo muna lahat ng garbage sila to start yung gustong ipagawa sa kanila. So, ganun yung ginawa namin.
Parang clean up.
Yes, clean up kami. So,
bibigyan sila ng 1 month allowance for adjustment.
Yes.
After the habang ginagawa po yun, naging information communication campaign na kami, trainings and seminars for the community. Then after that seminars, ito na po yan, yung total collection of segregated waste na po ito. So looking at this one, ito yung half month lang. But if you will multiply to times 2, pasensya na maliit, almost reduced to 1/2 po. So from original of 8, naging 4 trucks na lang ng hapon. The original of 47, naging 40 to 35 na lang kilos. Because they were able to segregate separately kung ano ba yung pwedeng ibenta, pwedeng itapon. So yun po nangyari. So nakita nila yung kahalagahan ng bawat basura. Okay? Now, allow me to stop for a while and kindly watch this video to look for the milestone of the company.
Yung general clean-up, ma'am, kayo rin nag-assist doon.
Yes, kami lahat. Kumbaga,
So parang hakot lang muna
yes,
lahat.
kumbaga,
para malinis.
ito kasi ang ano eh. Pag sabi ni Mayor, start kayo by March 1.
Mm.
Gumawa na kami ng sistema namin. Kami na ang bahala. Yung kumbaga, kami na, rest assured na gagawin namin yan. Magbibigay na lang kami na ano yung report na accomplishment report. Which is, yun, na-satisfy naman yung ano. So,
Okay? So these are
Yeah.
some of the